Hello LEGO fans, Bricks Unbound here with another update to my Building Hogwarts series. Since the last update focused mainly on the interior with the start of the Grand Staircase Tower, I wanted to do a little bit more exterior work this week, so we're moving all the way to the other end of the castle to the bell towers, which I believe I've already had a couple of updates of progress on these, but this is going to be another fairly substantial progress update for those towers. Unfortunately, they're still not done. I ran out of pieces before I could finish them, but they have gotten much taller. I believe in the last update, which was like update 7 or 8 or so, the towers went up to here, and by towers in that video there was only one. So I have expanded those up further, and this one even has a roof on it. Well, most of a roof on it. As I said, I ran out of pieces. Because it doesn't matter how many pieces you have, if you don't have the right ones, you're not going to be able to finish your project. But I am pretty happy with how this is turning out. Just in case you don't recognize this part of the building, because it doesn't really feature that prominently in the movies, especially nothing compared to like the Great Hall. Here is an image of it. So that is what I'm going for. It's at the complete, as I mentioned, the complete opposite side of Hogwarts from the Great Hall. So the Great Hall is here. Then there's the entrance courtyard in front of it, which right now is back behind because I've been working on this in this space. Then you go across the bridge. As I knock stuff off, go across the bridge. There is the, I guess there's a pair of towers here. Doors open into the long gallery, which is what this section is. It's a disaster over here. But anyway, and then at the other end of the long gallery is where the bell towers sit. So that's where this is going to be eventually. I'm going to have to expand my table space because there's not going to be enough room in that direction for the entire long gallery and the kind of tower structures at both ends of it. But this is how it's going so far. In my previous update regarding this structure in particular, I wasn't quite sure if I liked how this was designed in here. But it's certainly grown on me. A lot of people in the comments said, actually, that looks pretty movie accurate on that last video. So I said, you know, maybe I'll leave it. I'll see what I think about it over time. And I have come to very much like it, because it's very difficult to fit a whole lot of these little gaps in such narrow structures. So you can see how I did it. I just used a jumper to offset a column in the middle, and the columns on the side are topped with the very small, the smallest little half arch pieces that came in the micro scale Hogwarts Castle set. Don't actually have that set still, but bricks and pieces is a good way to get a lot of parts, or bricklink. So spinning this around, obviously it's very incomplete. This doesn't have any kind of top to the tower at all. There are tons of pieces missing inside. You can see I ran out of those little arch pieces in here. So it really looks like it's post-Battle of Hogwarts at the moment. But it'll get finished eventually. One thing that was very difficult to do were these little, I don't even know what you call them, but they're around the top of the tower. Let me see if I can pull that picture back up. Let's see, there we go. So it was really hard to figure out how I wanted to do those little window areas there. And to do it, let me just pull a section off here. You can, yes, this is not the finished design, but you can kind of see what's going on in there. I just used the studs on the side bricks, offset them by I think a plate between each one, and then stuck a 1x6 plate on the side of that, and then covered it up with these 2 wide cheese slope pieces. I was pretty happy with that design, as well as how I got these little windows to fit in here. This was a hard thing to do because on the Great Hall here you can see I just used slopes, and that's okay, but it doesn't quite give the right spacing because you don't have any of this space in between here. So you can see what part it is there. It's those plates that have a spot for a peg on the end of them. I just used two of the exact same piece, stuck them together, inserted that into a Technic brick, and just stuck it on there. It actually lines up pretty well to fit in between these plates that make up the roof here. I'm not entirely satisfied with how the roof is looking for this, mainly because there's quite a bit of gap. I'll just set that there. In between those panels there. I'm working on figuring out a way to try and fill that in. From a distance, this looks alright, but if you do get up close and look at it, the gaps really start to show in there. I could potentially try to use the sloped bricks again for this, but I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work, because this tower does kind of have 8 sides to the roof. There are these skinnier ones in between the fill in the gaps basically on the actual model. Additionally, you might have noticed in that picture there's another window looking thing on each side of the roof here. I haven't figured out exactly how to add that either. Also, it needs to be about twice as tall, but that's going to be real hard to pull off. These are, as far as I know, the largest angled and the sharpest angled wedge plate pieces that LEGO makes. I could be wrong. Probably I'm wrong. There's probably some even longer version. I'm not sure if it's available in the dark bluish gray. But if I try to make this any taller, those angles don't line up quite as well. So it's being left as is at the moment. Like I said, it does give the proportions, they're a little bit off, because the top of the tower is more like up to here. So I don't know. If I can figure out a different way to do that, or if you have suggestions on how I should try to do that, let me know. Before I use the same method for the other tower, once I get the pieces in to build it up to about the same height, I might try just using some of the 2x2x3 slope pieces, just to see how that roof looks in comparison. But spinning this around to the back here, you're going to see, I'm going to have a bad angle on the camera for a second so I can use both hands and don't knock this over. So this is very unfinished. I'm glad that these towers haven't fallen over yet, because their back corner is not supported at all. I can take them off. They're just attached with some tiles there. Or I guess they're modified plates that only have 2 studs on them, or they modified tiles with 2 studs. I can't remember. But yeah, they just sit on there. It's completely hollow. The sections, obviously, this starts a new floor, and then the roof itself is on a different 16x16 plate as well. But looking at the interior here, there is not much going on yet. I put a little statue there just to remind myself that I wanted to do something there. Very plain walls. I might end up rebuilding a little bit so I can hang portraits and things on the walls in here. You can see I already have a couple studs here to stick something on if I want to. Those doors obviously are not complete. They're actually only attached at the bottom right now. It was just to give the general size for this. And that'll pretty much do it for this update. Please let me know what you think about the progress so far on the bell towers here, as well as the rest of the Hogwarts build. I'm not sure what the next video will be on. Maybe I'll get parts for these towers to keep working on it. I also ordered a bunch more large 16x16 plates, because I am planning on swapping out these 16x16 tan plates for dark bluish gray ones. That way, initially I don't have to have everything tiled, because that's going to take a lot of time, money, and pieces to do. And I think the dark bluish gray will be a more accurate color there, and it'll be easier to blend into the terrain that will eventually be around these towers, similar to how it is on the Great Hall over here. Thank you for watching this video. Please come back to more, and once again, let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you for watching.